Is that nagging feeling in the pit of your stomach getting louder? You're not alone. Millions of people have questioned their partner's fidelity at some point. But how do you know if your suspicions are real? Is it just paranoia? Or are there undeniable signs that something's amiss? We're about to dive deep into the often overlooked clues that could be hiding in plain sight. Get ready to uncover the truth and decide what to do next. 1. Mysterious weight drop. Have you noticed that she's lost a noticeable amount of weight recently? Now, before jumping to conclusions, let's consider a few things. Weight loss can be a sign of many things: diet changes, new exercise routines, or stress. But if her weight drop is sudden and doesn't fit with any clear lifestyle change, it might be worth paying attention to. Imagine this: she's been comfortably maintaining her weight for years, and suddenly she's looking noticeably slimmer. You might chalk it up to a new fitness craze or a healthier diet. But what if the motivation for her transformation isn't about self-improvement but about impressing someone new? Intense physical activity, especially the kind associated with a new relationship, can lead to weight loss. It's not just about hitting the gym. Passionate encounters can be quite the workout. Think about it. Has she suddenly become obsessed with fitness? Is she showing off her new body more than usual? These could be signs that someone else has sparked a change in her lifestyle. It's a subtle clue, but it's worth noting if you're seeing other signs as well. Has she started buying new clothes that are more form-fitting or revealing? Perhaps she's suddenly more concerned with her appearance, spending extra time on her hair and makeup, even when it's just a regular day. These could be indications that she's trying to impress someone new. Maybe she's joined a new gym or started taking fitness classes that she never showed interest in before. If she's making a lot of changes all at once, it's worth paying attention. 2. Unexplained marks and bruises. Here's another sign that's hard to miss: unexplained marks on her body. We're talking about bruises, scratches, or hickeys that seem to appear out of nowhere. It's easy to brush off a bruise as an accident, but if you're seeing these marks in unusual places or with increasing frequency, it might be time to take a closer look. Picture this. She comes home from a weekend away and you notice a fresh bruise on her thigh or a red mark on her neck. She might tell you she bumped into something or that it's nothing to worry about. But these marks can be more than just accidents. They can be the result of passionate encounters with someone else. Intimate moments can sometimes leave physical traces, and if those traces are showing up in unexpected places, it's worth considering why. Also, think about the nature of these marks. Are they in areas that are usually covered up by clothing, like the inner thighs or lower back? Or are they in more visible places like the neck or shoulders? If she's sporting hickeys or scratches in places that are hard to hide, it could be a sign that she's been involved with someone else. Maybe she has an explanation for every bruise and scratch, but do they seem plausible? For example, if she's got a bruise in an odd place like the inner thigh and her story is that she bumped into a table, does that really make sense? Accidents happen, sure, but consistent and unusual marks can be a red flag. Take note if these explanations start feeling a bit too convenient, or if the frequency of these marks is increasing. 3. Changes in bedroom behavior. Now let's talk about what's happening or not happening in the bedroom. Changes in sexual behavior can be a significant indicator of infidelity, but they can also be the result of other factors, like stress or health issues. However, if you've noticed a dramatic shift in her sexual behavior, it's worth taking a closer look. Imagine that your once routine sex life suddenly takes a turn. She's experimenting with new techniques, trying new things, or showing an enthusiasm that wasn't there before. It's great if she's looking to spice things up, but where did these new ideas come from? If she's learned new tricks or become more adventurous, it's possible she's picked up these habits from someone else. On the flip side, if her interest in intimacy has waned, or if she's avoiding sexual contact altogether, that could also be a red flag. When someone's getting their needs met elsewhere, they might lose interest in their primary partner. Pay attention to whether her behavior in the bedroom aligns with other changes you're seeing. If her new sexual energy seems to come out of nowhere or is accompanied by other suspicious behavior, it's something to consider. Have you noticed any new lingerie that she's never worn for you? Or perhaps she's started to care more about her appearance before bedtime, maybe even wearing makeup to bed when she never did before. These changes, especially when combined with a newfound sexual confidence, can be telling. On the other hand, A decrease in intimacy can also be revealing. If she used to initiate sex often and now barely seems interested, it's worth considering why her desires have changed. 4. Unusual physical changes. Let's get into some more sensitive territory. Physical changes that you might notice during intimacy. If her body feels different, like she's looser or less responsive than usual, it could be a sign of recent sexual activity with someone else. The vagina, being a muscle, can stretch and expand, and it takes time to return to its usual state after intercourse. Consider this scenario. During intimate moments, you notice a difference in how her body feels compared to before. It could be that her muscle tone has changed, or that she seems less responsive to touch. These changes might be subtle, but they can indicate that her body has been through recent sexual experiences. Additionally, look for other signs such as changes in her level of excitement or arousal during intimate moments. If she seems more distracted or less engaged, it could be a sign that her mind is elsewhere, possibly on someone else. Has she started to refuse certain positions or activities that she used to enjoy? Or maybe she's suddenly very keen on new ones that she never showed interest in before. Physical changes can also extend beyond the bedroom. For instance, if she seems to be more self-conscious about her body in ways she never was, it could be because she's comparing herself to someone else. These physical and behavioral changes can be subtle, but when combined with other signs, might point to infidelity. 5. Vaginal health issues. Here's a topic that's often uncomfortable but important: changes in her vaginal health. If she's suddenly dealing with issues like yeast infections, unusual odors, or discomfort, it could be a sign of infidelity. The vaginal microflora can be disrupted by new sexual partners, leading to infections or changes in scent. Imagine she's been healthy for years, and suddenly she's experiencing frequent infections or changes in her vaginal health. She might attribute it to stress, diet changes, or even antibiotics. While these explanations are possible, it's also worth considering if a new partner could be the cause. Look for patterns in her health issues. If she's never had these problems before, and now they're becoming a regular occurrence, it could be worth asking if there's another reason behind these changes. If she's also showing other signs of infidelity, this could be a piece of the puzzle. Have you noticed she's buying new hygiene products or medications that she didn't use before? Maybe she's making more frequent trips to the pharmacy, or is suddenly very diligent about her hygiene in ways she wasn't before. These changes can indicate she's trying to manage or prevent issues related to infidelity. If she's also being more secretive about her health, such as not wanting to discuss doctor's visits or medications, this could be another red flag. 6. Scent changes. This one might be subtle, but it's worth noting. Her scent has changed. Every person has a unique natural scent, and if you've been together for a while, you're likely familiar with it. But if her scent suddenly changes, it might be a sign that something is amiss. Consider this. You've always been used to her natural scent, but now there's something different. It could be a new perfume or body wash, but it might also be due to changes in her body chemistry. When a woman is intimate with a new partner, it can alter her natural scent due to the exchange of bacteria and fluids. If you notice a significant shift in her scent and can't attribute it to a new product, it might be a subtle indicator that something has changed. This isn't a surefire sign on its own, but it can be a clue when combined with other behaviors. Have you noticed a new cologne or body wash scent on her clothes or skin? This could be a clear indicator that she's been physically close to someone else. Pay attention to when these scent changes occur. If she comes home from a late night out or after a work trip smelling different, it might be a clue. Also, if she's suddenly very secretive about her new fragrances or doesn't want to discuss them, this could be another piece of the puzzle. 7. Increased doctor visits. Here's something that might seem ordinary but could be a red flag. She's making more frequent visits to the gynecologist. Regular checkups are normal, but if she's suddenly seeing the doctor more often than usual, it could be worth investigating. Think about it. Why would she need to see her gynecologist so often? If she's been dealing with health issues like infections or discomfort, she might need more frequent care. However, if this is a sudden change from her previous health routine, it's worth asking why. Consider whether she's taking a lot of new medications or if she's seeing multiple doctors. If she's been secretive about her appointments or the treatments she's receiving, it could be a sign that she's dealing with issues related to infidelity. Pay attention to what she's telling you about her health and look for any inconsistencies. Let's go a bit further. Have you noticed she's more anxious or secretive about these appointments? Maybe she's started to schedule them at unusual times or is very private about the details. If she's suddenly taking an increased interest in her reproductive health without a clear reason, it's worth considering why. Pay attention to her explanations. Are they vague or do they change over time? If she's being evasive about why she's seeing the doctor so often, this could be another indicator that something is off. 8. Increase secrecy and isolation. Finally, let's talk about secrecy and isolation. If she's been spending more time away from home or being unusually secretive, it could be a sign that she's hiding something. This could manifest as more frequent girls' nights out, sudden work commitments, or just a general sense of withdrawal. Picture this. She's suddenly gone a lot more often or is always busy with new activities. When she is home, she might be distant or preoccupied. This kind of behavior can be a way to cover up infidelity or create opportunities to be with someone else. If you notice a significant increase in her need for alone time, or if she's becoming more elusive, it's worth considering what might be behind these changes. Is she spending time with someone else, or is there another reason for her increased secrecy? It's important to address these feelings and have an open conversation about what's going on. Let's dig deeper. Is she more protective of her phone or computer than before? Maybe she's changed her passwords or gets defensive when you ask about her plans. If she's suddenly very secretive about her whereabouts or who she's spending time with, it's worth paying attention. Also, consider if she's started to avoid family gatherings or events where you would both be seen as a couple. Increased secrecy and isolation can be major red flags, especially when combined with other signs. And in the end, these signs, when taken individually, might not be definitive proof of cheating. People change, and sometimes those changes are for innocent reasons. However, if you're noticing multiple signs and they're accompanied by a gut feeling that something isn't right, it's important to trust your instincts. The best approach is to communicate openly with your partner, share your concerns, and listen to her explanations. Relationships are built on trust and communication, and it's crucial to address any issues head-on. Remember, this conversation should come from a place of concern and love, not accusation. Approach her gently and express your feelings honestly. It's possible that there's a reasonable explanation for the changes you've noticed, but if her responses only deepen your suspicions, it might be time to consider the possibility that she's hiding something. Trust your intuition, pay attention to the signs, and prioritize open, honest communication. Whether your suspicions are confirmed or put to rest, addressing them is a crucial step towards maintaining a healthy and honest relationship.